This week, 3 of the Southwest's finest chefs. Experienced heavyweight Dominic Chapman.
I'm serious about this competition.
Ambitious newcomer Josh Eggleton.
Come this far, don't want to stop here, you know.
And returning contender Emily Watkins.
I'm sweating.
Are battling it out for the chance to cook at an honorary banquet commemorating the 70th anniversary of D-Day at London's inspiring St Paul's. Yesterday's fish course was a battle of the beaches.
An edible beach, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Presentation's not everything, though.
Emily got the highest score of the day.
I'm giving you an 8.
Beating both her Michelin-starred rivals.
Just writing the name of the beach on a board, I don't think is enough.
But she's still in last place by just 1 point. Today, it's the main course.
What's going to make them better than mine?
These hands?
And Emily needs to repeat yesterday's success.
I really love this main course.
Has she bitten off more than she can chew?
Shaking too much.
This year, the chefs are paying tribute to those who put their lives on the line 70 years ago on the beaches of Normandy. They've been challenged to produce 21st century dishes worthy of our war heroes, and have delved into their personal family histories and been inspired by people in their communities who experienced this momentous period of history firsthand.
Everybody was doing something for the war effort. You took it as a duty.
Judging the Southwest chefs this week is former starter course champion, holder of 2 Michelin stars, Sat Baines.
My expectation for main course today is obviously going to be very high. It's about D-Day, it's about the veterans. They've got to incorporate that somewhere or they're going to get penalised.
Make or break today?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I mean, there's 1 point in it.
Are you making changes today after Sat's comments?
I have to do something to try and give my presentation a little bit more elevation.
Yeah.
You?
Obviously a little bit of a knockback yesterday, but I feel a lot stronger today.
All guns blazing, then,
As much as I like you guys, I really need to push forward and get ahead.
Chasing the tails of her Michelin-starred rivals is returning chef Emily Watkins, with 13 points. She's playing catch-up, despite getting a top score for her fish course yesterday, and has high expectations for her main course today, having received a 10 from the judges last year.
Yesterday's score was great. I was really pleased with that. So I feel that I've really got to deliver on this course.
Morning, Emily, how are you?
Good morning, Chef. I'm good, thank you
How
very
you
much.
doing?
Better after yesterday, yeah.
Fantastic. So what we've got here?
Okay. So this dish is called Don't Come Back Empty-Handed. It's all about that World War II ethos. If young boys were out playing in the field, their mums would shout at them, don't come back empty-handed, by way of, you know, bring blackberries, bring a rabbit, anything which you could find.
So you've got this rabbit here. Where's it from?
The rabbit is actually from France. I'm doing a herb salt for the bellies.
Yep.
And slow cooking them, confying them, so they're really nice and juicy. The loins I'm actually making into a banger.
And what's the oats for?
The oats are for homemade black pudding using fresh pig's blood.
I see some snails there. What do they do?
So the snails are flavour, texture, and also it really fits into that kind of garden allotment theme we've got going on, because you've got the rabbit, the baby carrots, baby turnips, all the root veg which you find growing on an allotment during the war.
OK, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think Emily's rabbit dish is very promising. I can see the theme, it's an allotment almost, but she set herself a massive task. A lot of butchery to do, mousses to make. I think because of last year, she got a very high score. She's trying to emulate that and also surpass that.
Next up, in joint first place with 14 points, is Michelin-starred Josh Eggleton. He fell down on yesterday's fish course for failing to tell a story on a plate.
Plan today is to make sure everything is cooked perfectly, getting the message across. With my presentation, just more definition in what I'm doing.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Emily's got rabbit as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, similar ingredients.
It's going to be tough to make sure that the way I do them is better than what Josh is going to do.
Touché.
Yeah. Name of my dish today is Normandy rabbit. I'm going to stuff the saddles with some spinach, and with the legs, I'm going to make some faggots as well.
OK.
I have some heritage carrots, and two ways is I'm going to do salt-baked carrot.
Is that in a salt crust or a dough crust?
In a dough crust.
OK, yep.
Yep. And then self-raising flour. With that, I'm making some doughboys. That's what they used to call dumplings.
Doughboys?
Yeah, they're dumplings, effectively. That's what my nan used to call them. A lot of my menu is based around experiences she had in the war.
Josh's dish, wild rabbit and doughboys, is exciting, but it all comes down to the eating. Has it got the flavour? Has it got the presentation? Has it hit the brief?
Last up is experienced heavyweight Dominic Chapman, who's neck and neck with Josh on 14 points. He's been commended for his accomplished cooking, but criticised for not marrying his food with his presentation. So today, he's changing his approach.
I can't tell you how determined I am. I am on fire today.
What's the dish called today, Dom?
I'm doing British beef and dumplings.
OK, so what we've got in here?
I've got lovely beef cheeks, which are going to be slowly braised in beautiful red wine, Madeira and port. I'm going to do some lovely dumplings, and I'm going to put bone marrow in there.
Okay.
So I want the bone marrow to melt into the dumpling and give it a lovely flavour.
It's interesting because Josh also is doing dumplings, but without the bone marrow.
A little bit different, yeah.
Flavour. My take on it is just adding some flavour.
So his won't be as flavoursome.
I hope not.
I like it.
And then I'm going to do some lovely vegetables. So some beautiful carrots, radishes, broccoli, and of course you can't have braised beef without mashed potato.
Would this be a celebratory dish?
100%. British beef and dumplings. For a veteran from the war years, that's a celebration.
Dominic's dish, the beef and dumplings, I think is a little bit safe. He talks really passionate about it, but it's beef and dumplings. Does it tell a story? OK, chef, quite level, as you know, the scores. So I wish you all best of luck, and I want to see some fighting dishes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, chef.
The chefs all know this is the crucial halfway point and are more determined than ever to reach the ultimate goal of this year's competition.
Come this far, don't want to stop here, you know. It'd be amazing to get to the banquet and be able to serve all those veterans.
They did so much for us, and to be able to kind of bring that back and say thank you would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that would be special.
Emily was awarded a 10 for her main course last year, so there's even more pressure on her to get another high score today.
So Emily, this was a strong course for you last year. Do you think this main course is as good?
I love it. I really love this main course.
I think all the chefs really need to raise the game. Dom and Josh are level pegging, and Emily's only 1 point behind, so everything to fight for.
The chef with the most experience in the kitchen is Dominic, in joint first place. He's desperate to extend his lead, but has to get past rival Josh. Yesterday, he was once more marked down by Sat for failing to marry his food with his presentation. So today, he's changed tack.
So I had the boards, dedications, with the beach names on. Didn't quite work. In the time frame that I've had to change it, I've changed it. Now I'm going to make it more kind of D-Day-esque.
Dominic starts his British beef with dumplings by braising ox cheeks and pancetta in a classic sauce of red wine, Madeira and port. And he's convinced he's on the right track.
I'm going to attempt to tell a story today through British beef. Because you can't beat a bit of British beef, can you, really, you know?
Can't go wrong.
What about in the war? Was that a story?
There was beef around in the war.
It was pretty rare in the war.
Yeah, I was in London, but down the West Country, you know?
So what are you doing to the presentation then, Dom?
That's a secret.
Okay.
Ambitious newcomer Josh also lost points yesterday for not telling a story on a plate. Today he's hoping to storm the scoreboard with his nod to Normandy. An intricate rabbit stew with stuffed rabbit saddle, a light rabbit broth and faggots.
What have we got here?
This is a faggot, they're not rolled yet.
What's in the mix?
Minced rabbit, rabbit offal, some fresh tarragon.
Let's have a taste, chef. Happy with that?
I might put a little bit more pepper, the tiniest amount of salt. I need to get ahead today. I need to get good points and to push ahead, because at the moment it's neck and neck, and you know, I could be going home tomorrow.
Striving to get past rivals Josh and Dominic and repeat yesterday's success, Emily's rabbit dish is a complex affair. As well as preparing slow-cooked rabbit legs and pressed rabbit belly, she's making a rabbit sausage and is working on a mousse with rabbit loin, cream and eggs for the filling.
So this is for your banger, is it?
This is for my banger. It's going to have some herbs and spices run through it and the rabbit offal as well. My main course is all about what was out in the English countryside during the war and making the most of it.
Looking to create a dish to honour the wartime spirit, Emily went out into her own community, the village of Kingham in the Cotswolds.
During World War II, they really relied on absolutely every resource, and that's exactly what I'm trying to replicate in my menu.
Wanting to know what it was like living in her village during the war,
Hi, John.
Hello, Ellie. Come in.
Emily called in on lifelong local John Cooper.
I've been trying to create this menu as a kind of thanks to veterans of the World War II, and I'd love to hear from you about what it was actually like living at that time.
Well, my father served in the First World War, and he got gassed in the trenches. Therefore, he wasn't able to hold down a full-time job. Everything he done, I had to do.
Huge responsibility.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how old were you at this time during the war?
12, 13.
That's very young.
Yeah, we was very fortunate living in the country rather than people living in towns and cities.
Of course.
Because we got the advantage of having your allotments, and also you could go up the fields and kill a rabbit and things like that. Everybody was doing something for the war effort.
God, so you must have been strong and fit when you were a boy growing
Yeah,
up.
still am.
Yeah. Does it make you very sad when you think of the wartime?
I don't know about sad. You took it as a duty. You just knuckled down to doing whatever you had to do. Mother could always knock up something very quick and easy.
Yeah.
You never come back empty-handed.
Yeah, you never came back. That's a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
Armed with inspiration and a name for her dish, Emily headed into town.
Now we're going to go into the butchers in town to see what they were doing during the war.
In the 1940s, Lambourne's Butchers in Stow-on-the-Wold was run by Gerald Harker.
Very nice to meet you.
You too.
His daughter Jane grew up here and recalls the time well.
I do remember the shop always being full. The little old ladies that only wanted one chop or one sausage or something really cheap that they could make a couple of meals from. Sausages were made properly out at the back of the shop here.
During the war, when meat was scarce, sausages were bulked out with breadcrumbs and water, causing them to pop when cooked and giving them the nickname bangers. Emily wanted to try out her rabbit-packed sausages on Jane.
So bear in mind it's missing the offal.
Very good.
Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's fitting the brief?
I think so, absolutely. And very, very tasty, so good luck when you go in for the competition.
Thank you very much, Jane.
Emily is vying for victory and determined to march past her Michelin-starred rivals. She's working on yet another element for her main course, Don't Come Back Empty-Handed. A Cotswold version of black pudding, popular during the war, which she'll later blitz to form soil for her edible allotment presentation.
So what's this?
So that's my hodgepodge pudding, or you might know it as black pudding.
I love black pudding. It's
yeah?
my favourite ingredients
Would
in
you
the
like
world.
to try it, Chef?
Yes, please.
It's quite spicy, it's quite nicely seasoned.
I've got very high expectations of this, so
Don't
no
say that,
pressure.
now I'm watching all the... Don't give anything away, do you?
Emily's hodgepodge pudding was delicious. It was very hard to keep a poker face.
Inspired by his nan's memories of wartime food, Josh is making doughboys, dumplings made from flour, breadcrumbs, suet, herbs and lemon zest. Rival Dominic is making dumplings too. He's incorporated an unusual bone marrow filling for an extra hit of flavour.
So these are your dumplings, Dom?
Yep.
What's going to make them better than mine?
These hands? Should we try one?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not bad.
So what about yours? Where's Doughboy come from?
You know what? I don't actually know. It come from my nan, as far as I know. Might be a regional thing.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Here we go. What do you reckon?
Like Sussex pond pudding. I'm not worried that Josh is doing dumplings. They taste like a dessert. You know that sponge pudding with a lemon stuck in the middle?
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
Dumplings aren't the only cause of conflict between Dom and Josh today. They're both digging for victory by serving vegetables in different ways. To intensify the flavour, Josh is baking carrots in a special salt dough crust.
What are you doing with the vegetables, chef?
Salt baked carrots.
Is that it?
And just charcoaling my purple sprouting. I just want some bitter notes.
True to form, Dominic's hoping to let his ingredients do the talking. Aside from pickling carrots and shallots, the rest of his veg will be served blanched and tossed in a butter sauce.
So, Dom, I understand you're just going to blanch your vegetables. Do you think that's playing it a bit safe?
Simplicity is sometimes a beautiful thing.
I am looking for something that's going to elevate your dishes, so remember that, guys, yeah?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I could salt bake carrots as well, but not for this dish. You know, I'm doing a mixture of vegetables that are fresh and light. I mean, I can't really salt bake a piece of mange tout or a pea.
Vegetables play an important part of Emily's dish too. Her wartime allotment-inspired presentation features hay-baked baby turnips, carrots and potatoes, which will form a vegetable patch. Complete with edible soil made from her blitzed black pudding.
Really determined to get a good score today. It's really, really important to me, the main course. I've just got so much to do. There's so little time to do it in, basically. I've just got to absolutely concentrate and just keep going, keep going, keep going.
So, Josh, can you just give me a hand grabbing my props?
Okay.
So we've got the serving spoons.
Luckily, Dominic is first to plate up. But he still has to pull together his last-minute surprise presentation. He carefully arranges his vegetables in his new enamel bowls.
The new dishes look good.
Good. I hope, you know, it shows that I'm serious about this competition.
We're running a bit behind schedule.
Yep, coming up right now.
Dominic spoons mashed potato into a casserole dish, followed by braised ox cheeks, pancetta and his bone marrow dumplings.
1 minute, chef.
He tops his dish with pickled carrots and shallots, and finally pours his sauce into jugs.
Veggies to the pass, please.
Come on, Dom, you're 5 minutes late already.
Just a little bit of extra gravy, just to be generous.
You think it hits the brief?
100%. I've changed tack.
Let's taste it. So, Dom, you happy with the presentation?
Yeah, this is more about having a braised beef with the family and everybody digs in.
Then
This is
beef.
for two. I'm assuming this is for two.
Yeah, it's definitely for two.
The ox cheek, I think it's tender enough.
I do, I think it's beautifully tender.
The ox cheek is exquisite. It's melting in your mouth.
It is lovely. It's lovely and soft. This is the dumpling with the marrow. This is what I was a little bit worried about.
I think the dumpling works.
It's nice.
I'm just wondering if it's a bit over. They kind of seem to have collapsed a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think the vegetables add to this dish?
The pickles, basically, it's supposed to cut through the richness of the dish.
The food is absolutely delicious, as always with Dom.
Yeah.
Just not sure if this is enough for a banquet of this magnitude, you know.
Out of 10, what do you think this dish would get?
Well, after yesterday, I'd be happy with a 7+.
I think through cooking, it's 10 out of 10. I think it's absolutely delicious. In terms of hitting the brief, maybe 8.
Yeah.
Is he going to score it? I don't know. I've tried, OK? I've listened to what he said. Cooking hasn't changed. It might not be perfect on the plate, but the cooking hasn't changed.
Determined first-timer Josh is next to plate up. After yesterday's low score of 6, he has to do better today.
What's that, Josh?
Sandbag, just to stabilise these soldiers' helmets. Just trying to tell more of a story on the plate with the presentation.
He starts with doughboys, inspired by his nan, along with rabbit faggots. He slices rabbit saddle and places on the plate. Then removes his carrots from their salt crust and serves, alongside char-grilled broccoli, with rabbit broth on the side in a reproduction World War II soldier's hat.
Wow, looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It really does.
Josh, does it make you proud to be British?
Yeah, makes me proud to serve that and proud to be British.
Then we should go and taste it.
Great. The idea is this gets put in the middle of the table and you can ladle some of the broth and some of the doughboys over the top.
Good looking dumplings.
Yeah. Kind of poached rather than steamed.
Josh, are you happy with the texture of the doughboys?
Yeah, I'm really happy with them today. They've held together and cooked all the way through.
They're quite heavy, those dumplings, aren't they? They're
It's quite heavy.
Quite doughy. I kind of prefer a lighter dumpling. Try the faggot.
This is minced leg and shoulder of rabbit. Put some back fat in there from a pig.
I think it could have a bit more offal.
Talk to me about the rabbit, the way it's cooked.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. It's nice and soft.
Presentation, I think it looks lovely, doesn't it?
Perfect. That's technically very, very good cooking. Seasoning okay?
A little bit shy.
So these are heritage carrots, and I've baked them in a salt crust.
That salt bake has just given it an intense carroty flavour.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little bit too dry.
There's a very fine line between gimmick and using a prop for the good cause. Where do you think this sits?
I think this is definitely telling a story about the war. It's obviously Normandy.
Listen, there's the brief, and then there's just going too far.
I don't think it's the strongest dish.
Josh, if your nan was in my shoes, what score would she give you out of 10?
Well, she'd be biased, so I reckon it'd be 11.
Good answer.
Second timer Emily is last to plate up, but still has lots of elements to pull together for her dish. Don't come back empty-handed.
How was it, all right?
Yeah, good. Good. I was happy. How you doing, Emily?
Sweating.
With time against her, she deep fries her pressed rabbit belly, finishes her slow-cooked rabbit leg.
Was it this much pressure last time you did a main course?
I don't think I had as many elements last time. I'm feeling it.
And then turns her attention to the rabbit bangers.
Are the bangers banging, Emily?
Bangers are banging, chef.
Emily dresses her plate with wilted sprout tops, rabbit belly, rabbit leg, and her rabbit bangers.
Brilliant.
Shaking too much to be able to do this today.
Before beginning to build her vegetable patch with potato, carrot, and turnip purees.
Timing's becoming an issue, I think.
It is, yep.
Now firmly up against it, Emily adds blitzed hodgepodge black pudding edible soil, baked baby turnips, carrots, and potatoes. Pours her rabbit sauce into jugs. And finally, to complete her allotment presentation, adds snails braised in garlic butter.
Are you happy with it, Emily?
Just about.
Do you think this dish could push you ahead?
I'd like it to.
Let's go and have a taste.
Well, it looks impressive.
It does, doesn't it?
It's very clever. So, rabbit banger. I like the name.
You happy with the texture of the sausage, the banger?
I am, yeah. I mean, it's come out as it's supposed to be, a nice mousseline.
As a rabbit sausage, I quite like it, and it's got a good flavour.
What are these bits in it here? Is this liver?
That's the offal.
Do you think the offal is overcooked?
Do you know what? I think if it was less cooked, because I'd be worrying it would bleed into the mousseline, which wouldn't be nice either.
It's a little bit overcooked.
Are you happy with the rabbit leg?
I'm really happy with the rabbit leg. It's nice and juicy still, it's nice and tender.
I think the leg lacks a bit of depth of flavour.
Yeah.
Is the garlic in the snail supposed to be predominant or more subtle?
I think it should be a little bit more subtle.
I love the idea of putting the snails on it with a veg garden.
Yeah.
And the rabbit, for that matter.
Are you happy with the black pudding soil?
I am.
So that's the hodgepodge pudding.
Nice bit of richness.
It's quite subtle, isn't it?
So is this a story on a plate?
For me, yeah, this is real living in the countryside during World War II.
It's a nod towards land girls and allotments, and there's definitely that element coming across.
What would you give?
You know, 7 or 8.
I'd say it's a 7.
And if you had to mark yourself out of 10, what would you give yourself?
I'd really hope for an 8, to be honest.
How you doing?
Truthfully, I feel like I've just done a service for 100 people.
That took it out of us, didn't it, the main course?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
For all of us, you know?
But I'm happy with my main course today. I feel a lot stronger than yesterday.
This year's dish, I've been really happy about it at home, but I'm really concerned that I had too much going on and it has tripped me up a bit.
Time to find out if this was your finest hour. I'm going to start with you, Dom, and your British beef and dumplings with cream potatoes and buttered vegetables. The braised ox cheeks were tender, juicy, and seasoned really well. The bone marrow in the middle really worked and gave a great flavour. I've marked you down before for not telling a story on the plate. With this dish, I felt you really took my advice.
Thank you.
However, the veg was a little too crunchy. Quite rich, so I think it needed a bit more pickle on top of the dish. Emily, for your don't come back empty-handed with rabbit banger and hodgepodge pudding. The rabbit leg was soft and juicy. The snails are very nice. I love the idea of the allotment and representing the food that was available during the war. But for me, there were some serious Google errors. The hodgepodge pudding was delicious, but you blitzed it up. I don't know why you never left a piece of it with all the work you put into it. The rabbit banger wasn't quite right. Tasted like there was too much egg in there, and the offal was overcooked. And I think you spread yourself a little too thin. Josh, for your Normandy rabbit stew with doughboys and faggots, the rabbit saddle was perfect. It was moist and delicious. The salted carrots really worked, and I thought it was quite clever to have the broccoli now that's been barbecued. And you can tell your nan from me, the doughboys were delicious. I like the use of the soldier's hat and the sandbag because it gave a sense of history. You showed real respect to the banquet guests, and I love that. For me, the dish was spot on. So the scores. Dom, for your British beef and dumplings, I'm going to give you a 7. It was a dish we could all be proud of and not a restaurant dish.
Thank you.
Emily, for your don't come back empty-handed, I'm going to give you a 6. It's a great idea, but it needs some work on the technical elements. Josh, for your Normandy rabbit, I'm going to give you a 9. A fantastic idea, and it tasted incredible. Emily, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to score you higher, but I just couldn't. I know you've got it in you to reach the judges. These guys might have stars, but as yesterday proved, it doesn't matter. I really want you to believe in yourself because I do.
Thank you.
Tomorrow's the dessert. I'm looking forward to some great cooking, guys.
Thank you. Well done. Good for you.
Ambitious newcomer Josh takes the lead with 23 points. Dominic's in second place with 21, while returning contender Emily is still trailing behind on 19.
Good on you.
You're right.
Yeah. So I was really happy with my main course today, but you know, there's a 10 still to be had.
I am disappointed with a 7 because I tried really hard on that dish and I just feel like it was maybe worth a little bit higher.
So tell me, guys, honestly, where did all mine go wrong?
I mean, like the comments about the boudin, you know, we kind of made those comments. The offal was overcooked.
My main course score was a disaster to me. I was really disappointed in it, but I can see Sat's points about it. I take them on board. I spread myself too thin, and it meant that I took my half ball.
Tomorrow it's the dessert course.
There's only a couple of points in it, and it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
And the chef's last chance to impress.
I've got zero confidence at the moment.
Who will be leaving the competition?
Really?
I really believe that this time I've hit the brief.
The amateurs are in action again over on BBC One now as another 6 hopefuls face the MasterChef challenge. Next here on BBC Two, hoping for some good weather to help sell a Hebridean island, an estate agent with his work cut out.